Hello everyone, Dark Humility here in my final closed beta demo and mini guide, the Poison Dagger Necromancer. This is quite possibly one of the strongest builds in terms of monsters per minute. Depending on whatever density you want to standardize it based on, it doesn't matter. He can kill monsters incredibly fast. Unlike his cousin Poison Nova, the damage that you do is actually really absurd. We're talking about orders of magnitudes more damage than Poison Nova, so you don't really have to worry about your damage so much. You could go LCs, I guess, in some cases to get more damage, but you might not actually want to because you could get more bone armor, which will keep you alive. There's two main setups that I would use on this particular build, which we'll talk about when we go over the stats, the skills, the gear, and we'll do the demos in that order. Poison Dagger can be or Poison Strike can be particularly powerful, and there's a lot of very interesting but also important nuances to get right on this build so that you're able to crush face with it without dying. Here we go. Anyway, so you want enough strength to wear your gear. You're going to get as much dex as required to wear your gear. And then you're going to want to put the rest of your points in energy. For as strong of a bone armor as you can possibly get. Whether you do that or use martyrdom for bone armor is up to you. And you will get plenty of rewards from it. Alright. And then, of course, max res is good. Good news is that res is not too difficult on this build, so you'll usually get pretty high res no matter what. And you don't have to really worry about it even when you're going for damage. Damage reduction is very important, particularly on hardcore, as you're jumping directly into the monsters and you are killing them as fast as you can. Alright. FHR can be very useful, particularly on the non-block version of this build, which is the one I'm going to start with, where you try to minimize your block in order to make it to where it's just smooth, teleport in, and kill everything. You want as small amount of dex as possible. As a matter of fact, I think you can get the same attack speed on a knife that requires less dex, and it has the same attack speed than a fang knife. I think the lower version would work just as fine. I don't remember though, so you could definitely make this build even smoother than what you will see here, but it's pretty solid. Of course, we have 99 IS, so we need that maximum attack speed frame. Attack speed is important. We also need the attack rating to actually hit with Poison Strike. That is also important. Let's get some revives out. There we go. No, Aelita. Look at Swadlish Xanifying 5 members of the chat. Chat, spam those items in the chat for him. Awesome support coming in there. Anyway, hit recovery is really good on this build because you don't really have block, at least on this particular version of it. So you're going to want that in case you start getting hit, in case your bone armor goes down. On the softcore version, we're always testing those softcore versions though, just to show you guys the limits of the build. Mana per kill and life per kill are very good stats on this build. You're going to want as much of those as you possibly can get. Life per kill particularly is incredibly good on this build because you have to use Blood Warp to move from one pack to the next. One thing to also mention besides attack speed and FHR is FCR. You can actually get 125 FCR as well and be even faster on this build. It's a little tough to do on beta, but you'd have to basically get the perfect combination of corruptions, and you could do that, and the higher FCR and attack speed, the better. Of course, you want to max your attack speed, I think, no matter what, and then the FCR can be... It's kind of optional, but FCR definitely helps out quite a bit. Because you're going to want to just teleport, stab, teleport, stab, teleport, stab as fast as possible. And that is how you make this build insane. Definitely going to want over 10,000 attack rating if you're struggling on it. You're going to want more AR. We are not struggling on it on this particular version, so we're okay. Hey, what's up? Thank you, Swaddleish, for your own Xantification. 14 months. Let's go. Keep PD2 alive. Oh yeah, we are going super hard on PD2 on the closed beta here. We got all the data for you guys. Exclamation S10 data. Check it out. Anyway, we want Poison Strike and its synergies. One of the synergies is Bone Armor, so you max it out on this build too. Which means that really you don't need other Bone Armor, but obviously this will mean that you don't have to recast it if you have Martyrdom, whereas you're probably going to have to recast it if you don't quite frequently. However, it's very strong with energy and obviously maxed out. You also have good defense as well. You have like 5,000 defense. You could use a Defiance or Act 2 Mercenary actually and get a ton more defense as well and prevent blocking that way. So believe it or not, there are a lot of different options. On an Act 2 Mercenary, I'd probably like go, I don't know, I'd probably use something like Doom, and Doom works pretty well because it has Holy Freeze and will keep the monsters from attacking you, and it'll make it easier for you to just jump in and out. So Doom Act 2 is an alternative approach to what I'm going to show you here, and it's pretty solid. Obviously, besides that, on the skills though, you're going to want to make sure you have 0 cooldown Blood Warp. I think for some reason we're at 0.2 cooldown Blood Warp. Well, that's okay. 0.2 should be alright, at least for the sake of the demo. But I don't know how that happened. That's interesting. Put the rest of your points, of course, in a Golem Mastery for 5 Golems, and put some points in Revives as well. So you can get some tankage as you're just jumping into packs and killing them with Poison Dagger. And there you have it. That's the skills. Mercenary, I talked about his alternative, but this one's going to use the new rune word. And you'll be set to go in a moment here. No problem. And you can do that. Okay, so be absolutely set. We got Rapture here with lower resist on striking, and of course we also have Innocence and Ferocity. So that way, of course, you're going to get that taunt, which will keep the monsters off of you, but also will keep them grouped up, so the Poison Strike will do maximum damage. Of course, Rapture with lower resist means you don't have to cast it yourself, and will make your Poison Strike even more devastating. And then, of course, DR, whatever, Life Leech on the Mercenary, keep him alive. Probably should have Drax in this version, actually, but whatever, it's fine. And that's pretty solid stuff. Of course, he uses Whirlwinds, so he'll get right into the monsters. You know, make sure that he's constantly proccing him as much as possible. Oh, yeah, I put the Raven Frost on. I forgot to fix it. Oh, well. Alright, chat's right, though. Absolutely. Alright, so what we're doing here is no problem. Let's go and crush it. Hopefully you guys, right? Oh wait, I didn't go over my gear yet, did I? Ha ha! Shit, I'm skipping steps. It's the last guy though, let's be real. Alright, also we use now Plague. So I think Plague is perfect for this build because it solves the faster cast rate problem for Blood Warp. And of course also gives you 5 to Poison Strike. Daggers do roll skills for the Necromancer and for the Assassin, I believe, as well. Certain ones, I don't know. I think something like that. Anyway, we do have 5 to Poison Strike Plague here with it also freezes target, so it's just really good in general. You do want the freezes target on you, on the Mercenary, wherever you can get it, if possible. I don't remember, does Rapture have freezes target? It doesn't, but Doom does, and it's a really good stat just in general for jumping into the monsters on this build. And then of course you can do plus skills. It also has negative enemy poison resistance, which is big, and of course it gives you a chance at casting your own lower resist as well when you're struck. Also, there's chance to cast level 35 Poison Nova on striking, which is also pretty solid as well. Now to note, on the other version of this build, if you go the max block version with Martyrdom and Innocence, what's interesting about this version is that Innocence will also proc the Poison Nova on striking as well. So you get Poison Nova on striking. We're also using the poison dagger, which is really cool. So there's actually two solid versions of this build for a reason. I like Bramble and Bone Flame though, and just recasting Bone Armor every so often because I don't like blocking on the Necromancer because it's hard to get that block rate up. But with enough block rate corruptions and whatnot, it's not too bad. I recommend hitting at least 52 block rate if you somehow could though. If you're gonna actually go that route. In that case, you might need to use Steel Shade, you might need more attack speed corruptions. I don't know. It's kind of painful to block without it, but it is tough to do on beta where you need very specific corruptions to kind of configure all that to make the attack speed, the block rate, and all that other stuff work. It's just a lot of work. Anyway, High Lord's giving us attack speed, getting attack speed off of Indariel's Visage as well, which actually got buffed this season. It has more attack speed, so that's actually very useful for us. Of course, got attack speed jewels, we got a poison facet, same thing with the Bone Flame as well, which is plus skills, poison facet, life after each kill, which is an insane stat. That's actually one of the main reasons I like Bone Flame, is because I get more LPK easier. And of course there's DR as a backup in case I lose my bone armor. You got, of course, the Water Walk's gonna get some life and block rate. This is block rate for if I do block, so that might help out a little bit. And then FCR and plus skills and cannot be frozen and attack rating on the rest of the build. And then you have P and BDCs, and you have life res small charms as well. You have an Annie, and you have a Necromancer torch. And that would be all. Okay, that's pretty much what you want. I wouldn't use poison small charm. Poison large charms. Poison percent large charms on this build because kind of need the survivability. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, Act 1 slow movement Merc is nice for the poison builds, but she's likely not to survive jumping into the packs, so that's why it's even better to have this Merc or an Act 2 Merc with like Doom. The low res is kind of overkill in a lot of cases, so you could definitely justify that, but this Merc does jump in with you just like the Act 2 one does, so you can use either one and they should be pretty solid. The Innocence Martyrdom approach that will proc the Bone Armor, it will proc Poison Nova, and that one is also a solid approach. You do a lot less damage though, and then you also use Necro block frames, so that's the weakness. The strength is that infinite procking of Bone Armor makes it to where you don't have to redo your Bone Armor. So there's like two main approaches I see to this build, and that's how you get her done. Venom Ward got nerfed this season. I don't think that's one of the top options anymore. You could probably still do it though. I don't know. I don't know. Cool. Alright, let's do it. Let me get some cows. Let's go. As you can see, this will make Poison Nova look like a joke in this area. No problem. I'm getting stuck on a block. So this is why if you get like 125 FCR and whatnot, be even more effective. But you can see, just move, teleport, move, hit, teleport, move, hit, teleport. And then sometimes, every once in a while, revive your Bone Armor, which, there's a lot of Bone Armor on this build because it's a synergy. You don't really have to worry about, it draining super fast unless, like, very dangerous cows or something. You notice a taunt, though. It's pretty nice. Everything just drops. This build is absolutely insane. It was putting up crazy numbers when I was testing it. As long as you, play it properly, 100%. And And if you have all the revives and everything, nothing should die too quickly, so you shouldn't have to like constantly be remaking your other summons too. This one is a true product of the lab, man. We be doing it. Gotta get that FCR up though, and I think more FCR is actually welcome here. Less dex would be welcome if you use other ones that have less block chance, and then if you do want the block chance and you want the other approach, which I can show off real quick here, I think. Not max block currently, but you can see. I have infinite bone armor now, and then I can just like teleport. If you have LPK, you'll stay healthy enough. I need more LPK honestly, but that's where Corruptions kind of fixes it. It's kind of hard to do that on beta, but you know, you get the idea. So as you can see, this build is pretty sick no matter which approach you use. I just swap 2 pieces of gear and voila. Everything dies same way, and now my bone armor is practically like infinitely regenerating. You could also go martyrdom and like just get the block rate up and not even go max block, so that you just, you know, have less instances where you are blocking because you have the infinite bone armor anyway. So you don't have to double down on the max block just because martyrdom has good block rate. That's another interesting factoid here. Definitely interesting. So one thing to note is that, you know, arguably this is overkill, but then this prevents block, so if you get less dex on your other thing, kind of can work either way. And then obviously this approach is going to mean a lot more life per kill, and it's easier to get the life per kill when you're using that one. So, no matter what you do, it's solid. LPK really does complete this build. It does. It's gotta have a lot of things. This is a very it's a very touchy build, right? So this build needs, you know, max as high of FCR as you can, needs max attack speed, it needs the strong bone armor, infinite or not, it needs sustain, doesn't need too much res though. But notice though how effective this is. Look how fast I'm going. Just imagine you can go faster with more FCR. I'd love to show like a perfect corrupted version of this, because I don't think many things can beat that, honestly, in terms of just boosting the amount. Oh, Mercenary got wrecked. Wow. Did I get my revives out? That's probably why the Merc got wrecked, honestly. I messed up. That's totally my fault. Definitely need more tanks. Revives and golems make the best tanks. Alright, put on the innocence and the martyrdom now. Now I have infinitely reviving bone armor. Martyrdom also has more plus skills, to be fair. But then it doesn't have res and a bunch of other useful stats, so. So now my fire res is trash, so. I'm getting smoked in here. Oops. The getting block locked sucks because then you can't teleport. This beats rabies easy. Oh yeah. This is super strong. And with them keep nerfing Poison Nova, this is like the new Poison Nova for sure. You even get Poison Nova as well, like on the proc. You get fully synergized Poison Nova because you have to get the other two skills on the basic build. You have to get Desecrate and Poison Strike. So this is definitely one of the strongest builds in Season 10, period, if executed well. As you can see, that is pretty much how you do it. Hopefully you guys, of course, enjoyed all of the mini guides and demos today, but this is the last one. Hopefully you enjoyed the Poison Dagger, Poison Strike, Necromancer, whatever you want to call it. This is an insane build. I love it. One of my favorite tests, period. I thought it was insanely sick. Very technical build as well. Very fun stuff. And I will see you guys, of course, out the lab and into the next season, October 25th. And October 23rd, we will be doing, we'll be able to release that tier list and infographic for you guys, so you guys are updated. Well, you guys are hyped about the new boss and all the new content and all the new builds that are available and possible in this next season. And I will see you guys next time. Let's get it, crush it, smash it. Dark Humility over and out.